You want to have a very clear vision of what your future is going to look like. A lot of people say, Robin, where do I start? I want to start a new business. I want to become a better artist. I want to find the love of my life. Where do I start? You just start. Your days are your life in miniature. All you need to do is not worry about the next week, the next month, the next year. Forget about that. That's a waste of time. Own your day.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan. My one word is believe, and I believe in you. I believe you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, and I want you to find it, embrace it, and use it to make a difference. So let's get your motivation to a 10 and get you believing in you. Grab a snack and chew in today's lessons from a man who went from being a litigation lawyer up until the age of 25 to now becoming a best-selling author, trainer, and motivational speaker. He's Robin Sharma, and here's my take on his top 10 rules of success, volume 4. Enjoy. Also, if you want to know what Robin Sharma and a bunch of other thought leaders think about building confidence, check out my 254 Confidence series, where every day for the next 254 days, for free, you will get a 30-second to 5-minute video to help you build unstoppable confidence. Check out the link in the description below.
One of the real reasons we don't do the things that frighten us is because we are afraid of being judged. We are afraid of failure. We are afraid of success. We are afraid of stumbling. What I'm suggesting to you is one of the reasons we don't really step into our heroic nature as human beings is because we're attached to the outcome. And so to become fearless, why not find some time every day to practice becoming fearless? Why not use whatever irritates you or frustrates you or frightens you during your day as bravery training? And so stop resisting. I encourage you, stop resisting the natural flow of epic performance. Stop resisting the natural seasons of life.
Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, my personal favorite. Lead thyself. I can't say it. All right, let's kick it off with rule number 1, my personal favorite. Lead thyself.
I'm going to get right into the first rule, which is leader, lead thyself. So leadership is not just for CEOs. Leadership is not just for prime ministers and presidents and people with large bank accounts and massive offices. Leadership is not only an opportunity, but the responsibility of every man, woman, and child on the planet today. No matter what it is you do, whether you're a filmmaker, a startup entrepreneur, a manager of a corporation, a bread creator, or whatever it's called, a baker. I guess that would be a baker. Whether you're a teacher, whether you're a firefighter, whether you're a politician, whether you are a gardener, whether you are a wall maker, I don't know, whatever it is you do, but every day you walk out in the world gives you not only that opportunity, but brings with it the awesome responsibility to show up as a leader. Because leadership really isn't a title. You know my book, The Leader Who Had No Title, you've probably read it. Leadership is less about a title, and it's more about an approach, a way of being. And some of the traits of leaders without titles, they're radiant optimists in a world gone cynical. One of the things about leaders without titles, they don't see their job as a job, they see their job as a craft, no matter what their work is. They understand there's dignity in all labor. One of the traits of leaders without titles, they are relentlessly improving everything they touch, so they leave it better than they found it. And so the first rule for a monumental life is simply leader, lead thyself, which just means see yourself as a leader. And don't wait for the people around you to start leading. Lead where you're planted. Lead by example. You stand up first. Be an army of one when it comes to leadership and spreading that leadership possibility around you.
Rule number 2, have clarity.
Clarity is the DNA of mastery. So if you look at the titans of business, the true leaders in finance, these people literally will say, look at my charts. If you look at a great military leader, you look at a great athlete, they have such granular, in a world of superficiality, they have shifted to massive granularity so they know in intimate detail exactly what their future timeline will look like. Why? Because clarity breeds and builds and is the DNA of mastery. You want to have a very clear vision of what your future is going to look like. And when you know in intimate detail what your future will look like, then you automatically, subconsciously as well as consciously, can say no to the important. So you say a giant yes to the few things that are most important. You've heard me share this before. Confucius said it so well. The person who chases two rabbits catches neither. And so what I'm encouraging you to do is this exercise before you go to sleep tonight. Let's make this very tactical. I call it the 100-year timeline. On a single page from where you now are, 100 years out into your ideal future. I want you every single milestone on a single line to say, here's where I now am. Here's what's going to happen next week, next month, next quarter, next year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, 50 years, 75 years, 1 year, 100 years, until you have a 100-year timeline. On the other side of the piece of paper with crayons, so you tap into your part of the brain responsible for creativity, your right brain. Okay, with crayons, draw out your ideal family life, draw 1 year away, draw out your business life 1 year away, draw out your adventure life 1 year out into the future, draw out your financial life, draw out your material life, literally on a page with crayons, so you're not thinking, because here's I think a needle-moving insight. World class comes from instinct versus intelligence. You get your best ideas when you get out of your thinking. And just to give you some neuroscience, the seat of reasoning is the prefrontal cortex, but there's a phenomenon I teach in my live events called transient hypofrontality. This is the secret of genius. Geniuses don't get their ideas for Uber, Amazon, the electric bulb, Tesla, Shakespeare, the polio vaccination, SpaceX. Great ideas don't come from the intellects. They don't come from the neocortex reasoning and thinking. All great heroes and great inventors and great creators dialed into something deeper. When you get out of your neocortex through solitude and my life structure that I teach called the tight bubble of total focus, and when you get away from distraction and you immerse yourself in deep creativity and creation, and you find your laboratory, or what I call your Menlo Park, like Edison had his Menlo Park, which was with the wilderness away from the world, what happens? The prefrontal cortex gets silent, and it's called transient, which means temporary, transient hypo, small frontality. The neocortex, the seat in your brain of thinking, actually shuts down for a short period of time. This is profound information and will confirm your brain is built for genius. But if you don't do the right things, you're not going to be able to allow the genius to see the light of day.
Rule number 3, master your inner self.
You might have a great mindset, positive thinking, but if you have a heart set full of anger, if your emotional life is sad, if you're disappointed from the past, if you haven't done the sweat lodges and the journaling and the body work and the affirmations to really open up a heart set, then you can have the mindset of an Elon Musk. You can have the mindset of a Steve Jobs. You can have a mindset of a Kobe. But you're going to sabotage yourself from world class. And to me, this is the great myth of positive thinking. You see a lot of people, they read all the books, they're positive thinkers, they've got the vision boards, nothing changes. Why? Because subconsciously, there's this wounding and a lack of deservability, and it's unconscious. And so they haven't done the work, or you may have not done the work to make the wounds of undeservability and scarcity and the low self-worth. That's why positive thinking alone does not work. This is, to me, a revolutionary insight. And by the way, a lot of the people who teach positive thinking in the past are men. So it's very male mind. And a lot of the people who are pioneers of heart set are women. Heart, empathy, healing. And so self-mastery to me, and this is a pioneering model that I teach at Personal Mastery Academy, it's not just mindset. That's only 25% of self-mastery. And as you know, self-mastery is the DNA of outer mastery. You're never going to perform higher than what's going on within. Mindset is only 25%. Heart set, your emotional life, working from confidence and love and service, and that sense of internal freedom is only another 25%. So those two are only 50%. There's a third interior empire you want to get to world class, which is health set. Working on your energy, your nutrition, your daily exercise, hacking your longevity, eating the right supplements, getting a massage every 2 weeks. You know my 2 massage protocol, doing your 60-minute nature walk every week so that your health set is at world class. But that's only 75% of the equation towards self-mastery. You can have a great mindset, great heart set, great health set, but if you haven't worked on your soul set, turning down your ego. You know what disease and what energy depletion is caused by your ego beating you relentlessly about you not being enough and seeing your industry peers succeeding and you feel insecure and irritated and angry and jealous? Well, where do you do that work? Within your soul set, the fourth interior empire. And as you do that, you turn down the ego and you open up your humanity and you open up your spiritual life and you become more soulful. And then you release work that is artistry versus just to win in the next few months. When you literally give your life over to a mighty mission that is larger than your ego, and you literally start to see your work as a ministry for the benefit of humanity. And if you're an artist or an entrepreneur or CEO, manager or coder, a doctor, a firefighter, but literally, if you saw your work as your poetry and your artistry, and you were on a mighty mission that was larger than even your ego and yourself, what would the caliber of your output be?
Rule number 4, to thine own self be true.
Rule number 4, to thine own self be true. You're going to say, Robin, that sounds sort of familiar. Of course, it's Shakespeare. To thine own self be true. You know, Oscar Wilde said it so much more elegantly than I ever could. He said, be yourself, everyone else is taken. You know, Jack Welch, when he was at General Electric, one of our clients, GE, he said, never lose yourself on the way to the top. Wow, what amazing advice for you and me. Never lose yourself on the way to the top. To thine own self be true. Never betray your authenticity. Never lose your boots on the groundedness. And so to thine self be true means as you make your rise to legendary, don't forget what makes you great. Hard work, humility, serving your customers, working on your craft, playing the long game, understanding the genius takes decades versus good genetics.
Rule number 5, just start.
The bow too tightly strung is easily broken, says one of the proverbs. Balance is a gorgeous thing. So be monomaniacal in your execution around your high-value targets, your HVTs, your mission plan, but also build in some rewards. And that's going to send a gorgeous message to your conscious and your subconscious mind that, hey, this daily practice of execution around my deliverables is a beautiful thing. And you create this thing called momentum. And the monk who sold his Ferrari, I went back and I saw this recently. I think there's a whole chapter on momentum. And you become like this. I love skiing. You start off small, but as you go down the slope, you pick up momentum. A lot of people say, Robin, where do I start? I want to start a new business. I want to become a better artist. I want to find the love of my life. I want to be a world-class creative. I want to multiply my financial life. Where do I start? You just start. You just start. There's great power in the start. And when you start, life starts supporting you.
Rule number 6, master the skill of communication.
Most leaders, most business people, most entrepreneurs, most human beings have never learned to be masterful communicators. And the very nature of influence and impact, which is the leader's job, is communication. I mean, in school, were you given a communication course? Very few people have been taught that. In your personal relationships, have you read books on communication? Well, that leads to, in an intimate relationship, or even just with a friend, it's the little miscommunications that over time stack into loss. In your intimate relationships, it's the little conversations that you could have had in 5 minutes if you had the tools to communicate and the awareness to speak. So literally, you could release the anger and build understanding and speak out your needs and feel the need to be heard. All those little things, if you had learned how to do that and done it in 5 minutes with your intimate partner, you might not have lost the relationship. And in your professional life, learning to communicate inspires your teammates. If you look at the great leaders of humanity, the Nelson Mandelas, the Mother Teresas, the Martin Luther King Jr.'s, the John F. Kennedys, if you look at the great business builders, Steve Jobs, great example, right? He would be on the stage at the product launch and then that favorite line, one more thing. And that's when he would reveal the latest piece of technology that would create industry dominance when Steve Jobs was at Apple. Well, he was a masterful communicator, and Bud Tribble over at Apple called it his reality distortion field. Steve Jobs was a master salesman. He knew exactly what to say to get people to believe in the impossible, to allow their I can't to be less valuable than their I can't.
Rule number 7, serve.
With our customers, my team runs a protocol called the 10x value obsession. How can we deliver 10 times the value at every single touch point of the user experience that our customers who come to the live events or go into my online course or even read my books are expecting? They pay $20 for a book or $30 for a book. How can I give them millions of dollars of real value? Someone said to me recently, in your mastery sessions, you're giving away the store. Or something like that. I sort of can't believe how much value you give. And my reply was because my intent is to serve. This is not a business for me. Yes, I run a business and a series of businesses. I'm an entrepreneur. But the point really is, my intent is so much larger than that. I'm on a mission bordering on an obsession to help everyday people understand the neurobiology of greatness. And they can lead without a title. If you've read my book, The Leader Who Had No Title, that they have heroism in them, and then giving them the neuroscience, the research, the performance data that will help them win in their careers, live great lives, live their potential. This is so much more than a business for me. And this comes from value number 2. I see this as a movement, a sense of community, a sense of giving, a sense of helping you fortify the genius within you in a very difficult world. So you say, Robin has given me thousands of ideas in these free mastery sessions that I can choose to act on every day to go out there and fireproof my heroism so I can do great work that wows the world, do great things for my family, and leave an impact on history that stands the test of time. And if I do that in my own way, then I've served you and I've done my job well.
Rule number 8, get great at your craft.
8th rule for a monumental life is get great at your craft. Look, you have a gargantuan competitive advantage because most people are caught up or card-carrying members. And I say this with respect, but it's reporting reality. Most people in the world right now in business are card-carrying members of the cult of mediocrity. In a previous episode, and I share this in my leadership presentations, I believe the world today is suffering. And that word, I'm choosing it consciously and carefully, from the collective deprofessionalization of business. A little while ago, I was in an airport. There was a elevator repairman, and he had his boombox cranking out hard rock. Well, that's fine, but he's at work. He's not at home. I go into a store these days. There are people listening to music out loud when they should be taking care of customers. You walk into an airport and you see people behind the desk or whatever, rather than being pros, owning the game, you literally see them chit-chatting or, again, looking at videos of dancing cats and people riding bicycles off the roofs of their houses. You know what I'm talking about. I call it the collective deprofessionalization of business. Very few people, relatively speaking right now, say, this is my craft. I've got to be a pro. I've got to study the audiobooks that relate to my game. I've got to find mentors. I've got to read the books. I've got to practice like Federer or Serena Williams or Muhammad Ali used to practice. You know what Muhammad Ali once said? He said, I hated every single one of those early morning runs, but I loved the idea of being champion of the world.
Rule number 9, own the day.
And then before you go to sleep, ask yourself this question. Did I live out my plan for today? Your days are your life in miniature. All you need to do is not worry about the next week, the next month, the next year. Forget about that. That's a waste of time. Own your day. Your days are your life in miniature. As you live each day, so you craft the rest of your life. And the days slip into weeks, the weeks become months, the months become years. Before you know it, you've lived a legendary life because all you did was dial into gorgeous, brilliant, productive, creative, loving, healthy, soulful days. Your days are the pockets and instruments of genius. Get those right, your life will take care of itself.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is honor the genius within you.
Don't live your life on the outside to fill these holes on the inside that you haven't filled. Start the interior work of self-mastery to fill the holes so your mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set are full. And then you'll feel joy when you wake up every morning. And you'll work not for the money, but for the meaning. And you'll create with a fire in your belly that will make you undefeatable. It's not because you're pursuing income, it's because you're pursuing impact and craft and love of you honoring the genius within you. Do you see what I'm referring to? Your outer life, you still might work hard. I love working hard. I love it. But I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because of who I am. I have to write. I have to serve. I have to use the rest of my life to be an instrument of impact for as many people as possible.
Now I've got a really special bonus Robin Sharma clip on how to block out the noise. But before that, I want to make sure you're moving from just watching a video to actually taking action. So I have some homework for you. The 3 questions of the day for you to ask yourself. Number 1, what is preventing you from just getting started and how can you overcome it? Question number 2, what can you do tomorrow so that when you sleep at the end of the day, you can tell yourself, I owned this day. And question number 3, write down 3 things that make you a genius. Honor your greatness. You can write the answers down yourself, share them with a friend, or leave them in the comments below. Either way, I want you moving from just consuming another video to actually thinking about and taking action in your business and in your life. Thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in you. I hope you continue to believe in yourself and whatever your one word is. Much love. I'll see you soon and enjoy the bonus clip.
You know, you're not very smart, or you can't do that. If you're a teacher and you say, you know what, you can never be an astronaut, you can never be an empire maker, you're not smart enough to do this. And some teachers said that to me along my journey. You'll never finish university. And just to share the reality, I not only finished university with a science degree, but I did a law degree and then a master's of law degree. And I only share that, which is, I haven't had it easy. I've been put down. I've had teachers who didn't see my potential. That's just reality. You want to block out the noise and listen to the signal, which is you're built to be a possibilitarian. You're built to be great. You have genius within you. So calibrate your languaging so your words to yourself are world class.
Altruistic, world domination, honey empire, right?
I'm grateful. I understand why I'm here.
I think because I am so open.
I wanted to think and say, it's a bloody brief life.
All of you have the potential for enormous success.
If you want another amazing video highlighting excellence in the Indian community, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.